guys, so I am talking about the Chaos Walking Trilogy today. I finally finished it and I just need to talk about it because it was so good and amazing. So this is going to be a review. The first part of it's going to be spoiler free and I'm just going to talk about what I liked about the series without spoilers and about what it's about and all that other good stuff. And then I will let you know when there's spoilers and then I will talk about the spoilers. It's pretty self-explanatory. So let's just get started. The Chaos Walking Trilogy is by Patrick Ness and it is made up of 3 books. There is The Knife of Never Letting Go, The Ask and the Answer, and then Monsters of Men. They're all pretty lengthy books. Monsters of Men is the longest, it's like 601. The other 2 are in the upper part of the 500 pages range. They're so good. They're sci-fi, dystopian kind of thing. Yeah, that's what I call it. The Knife of Never Letting Go follows Todd and his dog Manchi, and Todd lives on this new planet called the New World, and it's in the future where everybody from Earth had to leave Earth and they went to this planet, the New World. Once they got there, you realize you could hear the men's thoughts, and so Todd grew up in this world where he could hear everybody's noise, is what it is called, and you can hear it of animals and everything. And one day, Todd stumbles upon silence, and it is so powerful and crazy, and it changes everything, and he has to leave his home and leave what he knows, and then at that point the story picks up and it goes, and it does not stop until the end of this book. It's so good, and it's super fast-paced, and it's really intense, really emotional. They're amazing books. Extremely well written. The character development of these books is amazing. There's Todd, and then you meet Viola in the first book as well, and then you just meet all these other characters as the books continue, and they're all so amazing. If I had to write an essay on these books, I could make it like 20 pages long, discussing what the characters mean and what they symbolize and all that stuff, because it was just so good, and I loved it. These books are good for anybody who likes dystopian and sci-fi kind of. I mean, there's aliens kind of and all of that other stuff. It's a lot more dystopian than anything, I think. It's so good. Patrick Ness has a way of connecting you with the characters in a way you didn't think was possible. You know so much about them and so much about everybody because Todd can hear everybody's noise, and it's so good, and I love it. And he makes all the characters so detailed. I don't want to say lovable because not all of them are lovable, but they're like detailed, you know, so you feel like you really know them. And oh, it's so good. So good. And Todd had to be my favorite character. I usually, when I pick favorite characters for books, I usually don't end up picking the main character. Usually. Sometimes I do. But this one I did. I just love Todd and Viola. They're both amazing and good people. And these books made me cry, and they're just so good, and I love them so much. And one thing I really loved about them was that they were really unpredictable. Like, I'd be like, this is what's gonna happen, and then I wasn't even close, and I love it. I love when it's unpredictable, and it makes it more enjoyable for me. That is about all I have to say about those books without spoilers, so I suggest them if you like dystopian. And I gave the first 2 I gave Knife of Never Letting Go 4 stars, I gave The Ask and the Answer 4.5 stars, and then I gave Monsters of Men 5 stars on Goodreads. So those are my feelings for these books. They're amazing and incredible, and I highly suggest them. Don't be intimidated by their size, they're amazing. Now I'm going to go on to spoilers, so if you haven't read the books, please do not continue, because these books are so much better if you don't know what happens. Okay, welcome to the spoiler section. So I don't even know where to start. Okay, we'll start with The Knife of Never Letting Go. I cried when Manchi died. I was like, no, Todd, no. I had a feeling it was gonna happen, but I was still like, no, don't let it happen. And then I was not expecting Viola to kill Aaron. I was like, oh, okay. And I also wasn't expecting, actually no, I was expecting the ending. I was expecting them to run there and then the mayor already be there. But I was not expecting Viola to get shot. And I love Wolf. In the first book I was like, I feel like he's gonna come back. I feel like he's gonna come back. And he did, and he was so good and so important in the series, and it's amazing, and I loved it. And I just loved the first book, diving into that world, getting used to it, and the 2 moons and the animals and everything. It was awesome. Now on to The Ask and the Answer. This book was kind of slow for me compared to the rest. I well, not all of it. There was parts of it where I really struggled to get through, and the other parts of it I was like, I want to know what happens, but it was amazing. Davy Prentice, though, talk about character development. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Davy. I did not cry when he died. I teared up, but no tears fell. I was so sad when he died because he thought of Todd as a brother and like a best friend, and oh, it was so sad. It was amazing though. That was so good. And Mistress Coyle, I never really liked her. Actually, no, I can't say that. I liked her when she first showed up, and then after she left, I didn't like her after that point until the rest of the books. I was just like, oh, I don't like her. And I was so upset when Maddie died. I was like, she just got shot. Like, it was totally unexpected. Just like, okay. And when Corinne died, so many deaths. The Spackle was different. It's really hard for me to distinguish what happened in the Ask and the Answer and Monsters of Men because they both were in the town. So that's hard for me to remember what was what. This is kind of combined, talking about the Ask and the Answer and Monsters of Men. I really like how Patrick Ness talked about the Spackle and how like there was different, like there was the Burden Spackle and then there was the Land Spackle, and I really liked how he defined them and how they had different languages because the Burden Spackle had the cure. He knows, like, he looks, and Patrick Ness just thinks of everything. Like, there's not really any holes. I mean, there might be, but I didn't notice any. The Ask and the Answer was so good. There was so much character development in it, too, with Todd and everything, and Todd changing. And you can just read the books, like, from the first one to the end of the second one, he just became so more mature. And oh, so good, and just love Todd. Just love Todd. Okay, now we talk about Monsters of Men. So yeah, this book is so good. So good. I had so many theories at the beginning. I always tell Kyler my theories before I finished the book. I told him, Viola's gonna lose her arm, Todd's gonna die. That was my theory. And then as the book progressed near the ending, my theory was everybody dies. Every single person on that planet. And then I thought everybody was gonna die, and then the new people were gonna come and they were gonna like start over and fresh. When they first, I wasn't expecting Ben to come back, but I knew because they talked specifically about how he never actually saw Ben die. I was like, they're gonna put that somewhere, but I wasn't expecting of his importance and everything. And in the Monsters of Men, I did not like the answer. I was like, no, I don't like the answer. I mean, I wasn't like supporting my apprentice, but I just didn't like the answer. And I didn't like Mistress Coyle or anything like that. And I started to believe the mayor like Todd did. And I think that's just a huge statement to how impressive Patrick Ness's writing is, because I was even believing the mayor, and I'm like, no, this is good that he can't do noise and everything like that. But at the same time, the back of my head was like, maybe the mayor is controlling him, and I wasn't sure. And I need to reread these books knowing now what I know, that the mayor was bad, because I was like, oh no, maybe he is good, and he wasn't. And I loved that Ben was able to make his noise come back. I mean, I feel like Ben really did change though from I don't even think he was in the Ask and the Answer, no, from Knife of Letting Go to Monsters of Men. Like, he changed completely, and I mean, I understand why and everything, but it was like a 180, and it was insane. I cried so hard when Acorn died. It was also like super late at night when I read it, when I finished the book, but I was like, Acorn, and I cried so hard for poor Acorn. And then same when Todd died, I don't know, when Todd got shot, I was crying so hard, and then when Gio was like, bye Todd, he died or whatever, I was like, oh. It was difficult, and I cried a lot. And when he came back, I was so happy, and then I was like, I don't know, is he gonna leave it where it's like, does he come back, does he not, what happens? But I mean, maybe an Inception ending where you can choose your ending, but I felt like he came back, so yeah. And so much more character development in this book. It was so good. And I love how Viola ended up liking Todd's noise, and how like they ended up like loving the noise, and they kissed. I'm so happy. I was waiting for it. I was like, is he gonna wait until like the very end of the series, like the last page of the last book, to make them kiss? But it wasn't that late, but it was pretty late. And then They never actually said I love you, but it was like they knew, and like he communicated it well enough that you know they said I love you to each other and that they loved each other. But it was like, and I actually really like that they weren't out front like I love you, that it was more of a, they just knew that they loved each other, and I just think that was awesome. Oh, I still don't know how I feel about the mayor, and like I understand that he went nuts basically at the end, but I don't understand the mayor, and I don't understand how I feel about him. If you read these, leave spoiler-free comments about your feelings about the books, and oh, they're so good, so good. If you watch the whole video because you're a rebel and you haven't read them yet, you need to read them now. Good. I wasn't even expecting, like, I've heard so many good things, but I wasn't expecting them to be this good. This trilogy might just be up there with the Hunger Games, like tied here. Maybe even a little higher. I don't know. I'm gonna have to read both of them and then decide. Okay, that's pretty much everything I had to say about these books. Like I said, let me know in the comments, spoiler free please, how you feel about them and everything like that. And I will see you guys next time. Bye! So many feels, so many things. So